Am I streaming? Did I do it? I think I did. That looks like me on the camera. Hello there. Hi, I'm Scott. What's going on? I had an okay day. Took a long walk. I went to the gym. I had a good meeting that's promising. Had a cookie. It's been an alright day. So, what's going on in the world of Scott Made This? We need to... I don't think I'm going to stream super long. Last night we had a tight, concise, productive stream. We set out with a goal and did the thing. So I want to test the thing that we did last night. The thing being the WebSocket, publish, subscribe, support, all that stuff for Heat. I want to test that a little more before pushing it to the EBS, or do I just do it? Maybe I just do it. Do I just do it? I guess my slight worry is there's some kind of overhead from this. So maybe one of the things. Let's just do this. That's not where I meant to. Here I am. Hello, welcome to this screen. Oh, and the bevies flying around in outer space. It seems like Bot Made This did not start. I tried this. Let's try an alert. Alert did not work, but let me close and open Bot Made This, or just turn that extension on and off. Or overlay on and off. Still doesn't work. Let me go into it and say refresh cache of current page. There it is. I think we may need to, well, we're not going to work on that today. We need to add something probably that makes sure that it maintains its connection. Although the weird thing is that glitch kills things that run for more than 12 hours. So I don't quite know what the solution is with that. Anyways, hello. I probably need to make some more Heat extensions that are good for just running around. So here's the deal. Here's what we did yesterday. We added all this Redis stuff. We also flipped the switch on something that was already on, and I feel silly about it, which was adding a payload, a user ID to the payload. Which that one makes me just slightly nervous, because that one's difficult for me to test. So maybe I'll have to log in as the robot in Twitch and just verify that it's working. I feel pretty good about this, but I think a thing that I want to do is look at the Socket.io Redis adapter. And just look at their source code and see if there's anything that jumps out as oh, there's a thing I should do. So one thing I did notice on their pub sub we saw yesterday, they have what appeared to be a hash delimited string. So pub and sub, we give our own key. We don't really need to. Create client. Yeah. Okay, I see. So you could potentially pass those in. That makes sense. This server's key, whatever that is. Okay, so here's where we put together the hash delimited stuff. So they have a request and a response channel. They have a little matchy dude. Wait, it starts with a thing? It starts with a real thing? Or is that something they wrote? This was... I asked about this very thing last night. How did I do that? I guess I didn't really care what the... I mean, I only subscribe to one thing. I guess if I subscribe to multiple things, then I would do the start twist. So that's actually not super useful for me. I'm curious how they do the string split though. So yeah, so then they do wildcard subscribe p message buffer. Oh, I don't know what that means. Channel matches. Ignore the same UID. I don't think I really need to do that. That seems to be a case where it doesn't send local messages through the adapter, but I'm just sending everything through the adapter. Meaning like I should I will still use that same mechanism even if I'm on the same node. The same node. I don't think I really need to do that. This is more extensive than I was imagining. But, you know, they've got a lot more fanciness than I do. That's about room joining, stuff like that. P message buffer, bind it to on message. So pattern channel message. So this is where the stuff happens here. So ignore different channel. Ignore unknown rooms. Oh, I forgot to do the Discord thing. Oops. I'm bad at this. The contest started too today. People should probably go vote for it, I think. If you have to make a challenge post account to vote for it, that seems annoying. Who's gonna vote for me? Nobody. Nobody's gonna want to make a challenge post account. Okay, so but the vote award is only $500. I want the big bucks. I want the big bucks. Okay, so here they do the decode, but I deliberately did not want to have to decode it. And then broadcast apply. So, So, I mean, they definitely have a more complicated approach, but I don't seem to be missing some, like, critical step to this pub sub business. I feel pretty okay about this. Almost enough to push it, but maybe not quite yet. What else is on our to-do list? Pretty boring things, I think. We're gonna test the user ID thing today. Expose the Twitch channel ID in the config. That's a piece of cake. Let's just do that. And the drop shadow is also cake-like. So we need to host with the rig and go here. So this is the current dude, and we just want to add a thing that says, like, this could not be more minimal. I mean, it could be, but it couldn't be a lot more minimal. So that's all Twitch front end stuff. So that's here, and that's here. And what we would need to do, I kind of thought I started writing code for this. I definitely get the channel ID because once you're authorized, all of those button clicks, browse to URLs, and yeah, the browse URL here. So like browse URL doesn't even really get set until you have the channel ID, which is maybe actually not a great way to do this. But ignoring that for the moment, what we need to do is something like I kind of want this to be a label. I think it's yeah, I mean this is a little weird because I feel like sort of semantically labels are specifically for form fields, HTML form fields. So it may not be technically appropriate to do this. But let's just see. I mean, we could do something that's like loading channel ID. And then like your channel ID is, that might be the thing to do. Also, this button should really probably be disabled. Justin, was that a real host? Why didn't I get a alert? Thank you so much for the host. Why did I not get? Okay, this is outrageous. Why did the bot not alert me? Is this working? No. Okay, we definitely have work to do. If I close it and open it again, there it is. Okay. I have problems. I have problems. Okay. At least somebody's feeding the bevy. That's good. Thank you for feeding the bevy. So we want to say something like loading channel information. And then no, but I want to. I started adding that. I just got distracted by other things as usual. How was your stream? So let's just do this. This is what we're gonna do. Channel info. You feel accomplished? That's good. I had a fairly accomplished stream yesterday. I felt it's good to feel that because I feel like, I don't know, 3/4, that's probably being generous. 3/4 of my stream, I feel like I spend the majority of the time working on nonsense or distracted or stuck on some goofy problem. So it is good to actually be like, hey, I accomplished a thing. Okay, so once this happens, we want to do like a document.get element by ID, and then whatever I just called that thing, who knows, channel info, and probably just say text content or inner text equals one of these. Your channel ID is, cram this in there. Okay, cool. I was kind of thinking of like how to style this because it's not critical information, but it is information that has come up for people trying to do this. Like, part of me wants to say that it should actually not be there and that it should be down here. This song is so jaunty. I'll jaunt here. We do the small and then fade it out. I mean, or just not have extra tags and just add some CSS. What's your problem? Because it's just color. CCC even? Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin. You've earned it. Take a break. Until next time. This may be sufficient for now. One day we might make this thing pretty, but this does the job at this moment. Or it will as soon as I add 2 dots. Now we know. Now we know that it's doing a thing. Happens pretty quick. Get that authorization call back very quickly. And then this should all be good news. Except it's not going to open for some reason. Maybe I have to do this in browser. Why? Why would Windows, why would you ask me what browser to use? You know what browser I want to use, and it's not Edge. Okay, that works. My channel ID gets passed. All of these pass the channel ID. So I'm going to call that good. We're not going to even think about uploading this until later anyway, because this will require submitting a new version. And then drop shadow on the cursor is another thing we need to do, because if the background is red, this does not work very well. So how did I end up doing this? I ended up doing it, well, I did it in a semi-crazy way. I did it in just a slightly crazy way, where I like base 64 encoded some CSS. Is that the right answer, or is a stroke the right answer? Either like some kind of shadow to make it pop off, or just a white stroke around it is also a possible answer. So how do we like feel about it, the way it looks on stuff? I mean, it's just a reddish orange dot. What do you think, the bevy? Anyone watching, by the way, who has not played with Heat, you can click my video. Just click on my video stream, and it will leave snacks for the kitty. That's what I'm working on right now, is the extension that allows that very behavior. I mean, I kind of think that the I don't know if I'm thinking like drop shadow is the right answer. Let's see. Pardon me for a moment. All this stuff, that's the pulse in the background. It's really these two blobs, these base64 blobs. Because we opted to use custom cursor support rather than tracking an image like we did originally. So I think it just gets a little annoying is my ability to test this easily, but let's try this. I think those are, I don't even know anymore actually. Those 8 pixel blobs. I don't know, it's all base 64 encoded. Let's see. Need like a base 64 decoder. Or I don't need that. I need that. I need that very thing. Base. Oh, okay. Let's see. Base 64 encode and decode. Tremendous. Yeah, I mean, we're dead simple here. The transparency might add a little bit of nonsense to it, but basically we just have 2 circles, and in our new version we just have 2 circles, one on top of the other, and one with some opacity. In fact, shouldn't this one have opacity? I guess this one should have some opacity. Or some transparency. Yeah, opacity 8. So, like, that's the radius. The XY and the radius 4. So we could almost, like, do this ourselves, right? More than almost. We could just do this ourselves. So for example, I just took this. This is an absurd notion that I have. But well now. This seems fussy in a way that would get annoying kind of quickly. Or maybe I'll do it. I don't know. Where's the encoder? Encode, please. Okay. This is what we have. Now, if I just took our friend here, added this, offset these by 2 more pixels. I don't know how that's going to handle the width and height that we put in, but let's see. So we'd make it like 6 by 6, same radius. Let's just make this black. And let's just not have opacity here. And let's encode this. And I don't know. I don't know if this is a good or bad idea. That seems weird. Why did that decide there should be a line break? Okay, well, that doesn't quite work. I think we had to do something, yeah, with these offsets. So we're cropped, so it needs to be bigger, so it has to be 10 by 10. And then it needs to be underneath, which presumably can just be an order thing. Like if this thing is first, and I feel like I might as well make it 12 by 12, and the view box would be 12, 12, 12, and then this would be 8 by 8 with the 4 radius, and this would be 6 and 6 with the 4 radius, and encode that. I don't know. So it's not the absolute worst. I don't think I like it 2 pixels off though. So if this was just 7 and 7, also we'll have to update one other thing. Just realized. Encode you, and then we will need to make this so that click point is dead center. It's not the worst. I don't know that it really solves the problem of appearing on red, which unfortunately is not super easy to test here. I guess we could just do like so that gives a little bit of something, but not a ton. It is, I guess you would say it's an improvement, but maybe not the most traumatic improvement. Traumatic? Dramatic. Let's see. I mean, maybe that doesn't need to be quite as transparent. This is absurd, by the way. This whole approach to what I'm doing. Manually editing an SVG file and base64 encoding it and just cutting and pasting it over again. But I don't know. That seems not too out of character for the kind of nonsense that I do. So that is okay. The rings are busted in that context, where maybe we want the rings to alternate or something. How do the rings work? I can't remember. It's just a border. That's a little tough. I mean, like normal mouse cursor land, the notion is like, well, let's just make it white but put a black outline around it. So that is not too crazy. That would not look lovely for the little pulsing things. But maybe this is an okay first step, just so you can at least see where you're moving, which I think is the more critical piece of this. Oh my gosh, did Binary C just join the Discord? OMG. I can't believe this. Did that really just happen? Unbelievable. My phone let me know. Okay, I don't know, man. Think I'm good calling this at least addressing the initial problem. It maybe highlights some other problems, but in terms of breaking through the old to-do list, that feels not outrageously bad. The other thing, though, is what? Where'd my cool encoder go? Because we also need to do the exact same thing for, I don't know how that's going to look actually, because we're going to be like transparent on top of a drop shadow. That doesn't seem like it's going to look good. If we try to do the opacity, the lower opacity, like if, for example, we did this and made this 0.25 and encoded and then stuck this down here, hard for me to imagine this looking great. You only see it momentarily. It looks ridiculous. It looks very silly. And it also moves because of this. I mean, it's not the worst possible thing. You know what? Maybe the thing to do is, I think I would actually prefer this. Instead of doing this opacity change when something is dead, you gray it out or make it white or something, like it's red and then it becomes white when you can't use it. That seemed awful. And this stays 5 and it just turns black and white when because it's a short window. It's 250 milliseconds that it's disabled. That's weird because it makes it look highlighted. So I think that was a poor choice. But it could be a dull gray, like a 666. Perhaps. Also extremely noticeable, just incredibly noticeable. Maybe more like a CCC. I do not want to spend much more time on this. This was I kind of knew it was a silly way to go about this. Okay, it seems like actually 999 is gonna be the way to go. I don't know why I keep highlighting that. Okay. This is the one, right? I don't think so. I don't think it's good. It's just not good. It's a problem with the whole drop shadow strategy. I think we just don't do anything to this guy for a while. And just fade out. I don't want to spend my life on that. Of course, I'm always talking to myself. Binary C, welcome to Discord. I don't know, we talk sometimes. Draklin, life is yours. But yeah, most of my life is me talking to myself. Not just on streams either. Like in the shower, pacing around my apartment. Lots of long conversations with me, about me. Okay, so I thought we pushed all this stuff. I added an extremely important line feed. Well, don't want to miss that. Yeah. Yes? No? Okay. In here, what did we do? Seems safe. Again, none of this stuff is going to be deployed immediately because this is a whole new version release. I just want to kind of knock out some of these things. We do not want to push this. We don't want to push that red background. This is really just add drop shadow to cursor. Not the most exciting commit. Okay, so the thing I think I want to do is I think I want to deploy all the backend, either EBS, extension backend service, or whatever it's called. Deploy all the stuff we did yesterday. And then call these things something. Done or not done, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, because we can test all that. I can at least test it on my channel. Right? I think we're ready. I think we just do it. So, what does just doing it involve? Just doing it involves just putting my eyeballs in this thing one more time. So just to recap what we added. We added this. So instead of just pushing things to Socket.io, which behind the scenes is doing its own Redis magic, we are also doing our own custom WebSocket server stuff, and then all that is down here. We're creating a publish subscriber setup through Redis. We are saying anytime we're subscribing to anything kind of prefixed by WS, which up here oh, it's just the send. It's not up there. It's down here actually. Is where is that thing prefixed by WS. So here's the publish that gets called above, and we are saying anything in there we care about. When we get that, we throw away those first 3 characters, which that should probably be like tidied up a little bit, something like this. Oops. And then when we get here, we could say that's a WebSocket prefix. Where do we tear it up? And we do not want to log this. This will be WebSocket prefix.length. Spelled properly. And then this is like, I don't know, what is this called? WebSocket prefix, WebSocket pattern. Just so this stuff is in one place. Seems a little tidier. And then WebSocket timeout. Timeout. 30 milliseconds or 30 seconds, not milliseconds. Okay, that feels okay. Does it run? That seems like cool. I broke it. Oh, because I didn't run the local Redis server. How could I? How could I forget? So actually, that's a real deal, because with the Socket.io stuff, I say if somebody didn't bother defining the Redis URL, then don't even do any of the socket adapter stuff. However, I just straight up use it in for cooldowns and for WebSockets. Like, it's not really an optional thing anymore, and so it kind of makes me think, like, it's not just like, oh, don't worry, we're just Redis support disabled. I think that's just not optional. Like, we could make it function without it, I guess, by skipping the cooldown stuff, but I think we're just going to say, like, hey, if you're not running a Redis server, you got problems. You got real problems. Okay, so downloads. Where's I downloaded the Brave browser. I was not immediately impressed with it. Okay, now are we happy? Redis client connected. These clicks should be going here, right? But I turned off all logging. That would be, if I wanted to test that easily, I could just go into Okay, then we get the stuff in here. And we get it doubled. Everything should come through twice because this dude is connected via both Socket.io and WebSockets, and they both appear to be working. So things look good. I guess if I was a developer that lived in the year 2019, I would write like some unit tests to test all these things, but what do I look like? Uh-oh. Look, a bug just surfaced itself just when I was talking about how I didn't want to test anything. Oh, I just closed the Redis server. That was my whole own fault. Nobody else's but mine. Okay, so I feel like I'm just gonna do this. Am I? Do we make any changes? We did some cleanup. Don't pretend Redis is optional. Variable cleanup. Yeah. I think that's all. And we'll just go through and we'll test all the business with the real server. We tested it all locally yesterday. Seemed to work. And then if that is all good, then the thing I want to try is some heat. Like just a quick little heat test that shows the usernames. The thing that's going to be annoying is I will have the user ID, but it will be up to the client. And I think I do want to make this the client's job. I think to hit the Twitch API and get hello Babby, you hungry? Hit the Twitch API and get the username and all that jazz. The thing that's annoying is you need a Twitch client ID to do that, and that would be my application, and I probably shouldn't just have like other people using my client ID, because if they abused it, then Look, Dracklin's not talking, but he's lurking behind the scenes. What's Dracklin doing? He's playing Rocket League, of course he is. Of course. Okay, so the thing I need to do then, wait, I did actually commit, push, everything, yeah. So EB deploy, here's the thing. So this would like break the servers and bringing them back up. Probably the right answer, of course, would be that I would have like development, staging, production servers, and then I could just like pass them along on the Amazon side. There is this like magical code thing you can do where I could set that up. Well, it's like a repository on the Amazon side where you would just send a diff, but this is small enough that I don't think it matters that much. So I'm just gonna do it. So anybody using Heat, I'm sorry. I don't even know if there is anybody, who knows. Deploying new version instances. I don't know how long that takes actually. I think I have, oh, did I close the wrong one? I just closed the wrong one. Oops. And I forgot how to do the log view. EB logs. I thought there's a way to tail the logs automatically. Well, I think we're just gonna like kind of assume that it worked. So right now the baby is not eating. Understandable. Yeah, log streaming. There's a way to do it. Now I can't remember how to do it. So I just get like all the most recent logs. I thought there was a way to get help about individual commands. True or false? -- stream. That is to enable or disable streaming to CloudWatch logs. Get recent logs. Retrieve all logs. Oh no. Let's see, what would actually matter? Clicks. Socket.io should connect on the back side, so maybe we need to just do this. Let's go to AWS and look at the old dashboard and try not to get too upset about how much money I already have to pay just for this silly little test extension. I mean, not test, this is a real product out in the world right this minute. Let's log in on this screen instead. Hello? Can I please log in? What account did I use? Does anyone know? This one? Maybe? Yes? Services, Elastic Beanstalk. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good. So I got severe problems. Apparently I did not do a good job. What wrong thing did I do? My Redis connection failed. The Redis URL comes from the environment. Okay, well, what did I break? This is unfortunate. Really shouldn't like break this because it's in production. It sure seemed like it worked. Run dev. Let me run Redis again locally. No, I don't want. No, take me back to the terminal. This seems to be working locally. All signs point to a happy local environment. So the connection refused is concerning. Redis URL comes from here. Redis key. Let me double check that that's set in the environment, but if it wasn't, then I don't know how it would be working. Dashboard, configuration. Redis URL is not just localhost. Is there some reason Redis URL would not be coming through here? All these other configuration variables. Oh man, I mean, you know, this is like kind of really the thing I didn't want to do. I should destroy everything. The fact that it's just doing this seems suspect. Like that seems like so this is the Node.js log. So can I tell it a specific... No, come back. Like which log I want. Log group. Is this the log group? Nope. This the log group. Yeah, I can't believe I just broke heat. I don't really know how. Okay, so let's think here. I've broken everything, destroyed it all. Easiest answer I can think of to start with, I guess, is to just log this. I do this or does it get mad? I don't even really do that. Seems mad before I even get to the part that I would expect the madness to happen. I'm in the wrong place. That's my problem. So that should give me the Redis URL. So I guess let's push this and then see if we get that in those logs. This is a bummer. What did we do? Is there anything else we accidentally killed? Like, this is all I really changed in that realm, is I just said, like, do it whether or not you have a Redis URL. But nothing, the logic isn't any different. Well, let's just see what we get from that. Slightly at a loss for this. Also, why are these logs not doing anything? EB log stream seems to not really be streaming the logs. Does it? Oh, should I update? Oh, the update was completed successfully. I should presumably do this. Great. Okay, so, oh yeah, I could SSH in and just do the logs, but. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I want to do here. Go away. was not what I expected to happen. Sure, let's update all this stuff while we're at it. Let's do it. Oh, that didn't seem to work. No, get me out of here. Quit. Exit. Abort. Okay. Lost control a little bit. Okay. So, how are we doing? Where's the dashboard? This weirdly, like, I found a Stack Overflow thing, but didn't seem to help. I'll try it again in a second. Okay, what do you have to say for yourself? Probably that everything is still on fire. Yes, everything is still on fire. Check. Let's check the newer version is available. I'm gonna ignore that for a minute. Okay, so Redis URL, that is indeed my Redis URL. So some sort of horrible error is happening. Oh, I think I know what I did. Did I really do this? I really did. I really did this. It's 1000% my fault. Man. Okay, this is just... Okay, alright, sure. This is just my fault. There's no... no way around that. Let me do... Where's our cooldown stuff? I just didn't pass the Redis URL to the new things, and it didn't matter because it defaults to localhost. So that was just a very silly problem. At least it's not serious. That's good to know. Man. Somebody's supposed to be watching that to save me from myself. Okay, pass. Yeah. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, now we're all good. Now we'll do another EB deploy. Nope. Oh, good, because I did that update stuff. Is EB now broken? Awesome. Great. Okay. No, EBS. Deploy. Okay, where were we? I still wanted to be able to tail this. So we can stream to Amazon CloudWatch logs. Node. Why is everything so complicated? Yeah, I know I can SSH in, but I didn't turn that on. This fellow down here. No. Maybe that's the easiest answer, really. Oh man. Come on, it was only down for like 10 minutes. Isn't 99.5% of a year? How many minutes are in a year? If I have like 60 minutes in an hour times 24 in a day times 365. Times 99 point, what do we say, 995? Oops. Oh yeah, then we need to, well, okay, no, like the opposite of that. This is how down we can be, right? That's how down we can be. I can be down 200 minutes. No problem. I got plenty of minutes to be down. I barely, like, 260 minutes. I'm not exactly sure if I did that math right, but I'm going to assume that I did. Okay, so now it still kind of feels like heat is not up. It still feels a little bit like it's still broken. This says the new environment was updated successfully. I don't have a great feeling about this. It still feels a little bit broken. So it looks broken too. What's wrong now? Did I not actually fix the problem? I thought I did. I mean, that looks like what I want to happen. You sure you're dead? Can I like... Can I get a second opinion? I mean, that redirected me here, so that means that kind of worked. But these clicks are not happening. Why is that? So am I getting errors when I try to click heat? And if I did like a heat PBS click, invalid auth header, heat is returning stuff. Why do you think heat is not up? The little refresh thing doesn't even change. Yeah, I want to change. Can I update my... Sure. Did I specify that in my package file? My node version? I think I did. Guess I could if I wanted to, but... What is the issue here? Oh, what a handy chart. Thank you, Binary C. Let's see. Oh yeah, look. Downtime per week. I can be down 5 minutes a week. This is all no problem. This is all piece of cake. Okay. Although those numbers are mounting as I continue to restart and break things. Hopefully this just bounces back. It seemed like it was working. I don't know exactly how it makes the decision that things are toast. What's in managed updates? What does that mean? I'd love to learn more. Oh. Your application remains in service during the update. Managed updates will be able to single instance. Well, that seems cool. Do I have to pay for this? Why is it always why? Why is it always so much documentation for every tiny feature? Okay, where do I turn you on? Configuration, managed updates card, modify, enabled. Every Tuesday between 4:30 a.m. and 6:39 a.m. Update level minor and patch. I'm just gonna do it. I don't know why it recommended Tuesday. But sounds great. I cannot click the apply button. It still, for some reason, will not let me turn on this feature. So, cancel? Oh, I guess I can't do stuff while the business is happening. Okay, well, I guess we just wait for the business. I just paid my first AWS bill. It was not horrible, but it was like, man, it's... I don't like how much of it is the load balancer. The load balancer costs bucks. This still seems to be running during the updates, but I guess I don't know why the Babby's feeding is not happening. Maybe I need to refresh something. I mean, I get what appears to be a whole bunch of WebSocket connections. Why is that true? Why is this spawning? Uh-oh. Why is this this doesn't look good. Are they throwing errors or something? I wish this would finish. Seems like it's maybe still not actually working. So just to recap, I added these because they were missing. Did I break anything here? We basically just took this out of an if statement. Warn. Okay, seems busted still. Okay, we're still busted. Really eating into my downtime time. My uptime time. My uptown girl. I mean, this looks right. I guess my only fear, it's not my only fear, but it's a fear, that would be that whatever black magic worked okay on my computer yesterday, where we were like doing Socket.io and WebSocket simultaneously, is not working well in AWS land. Which would not surprise me tremendously. But it's just pretty weird because like heat. I mean, okay, here's how we can test, I guess. Let's just go to client and then have client connect to both the Socket.io dude and the WebSocket dude. This definitely wasn't supposed to break everything. Open is what we say when we have a WebSocket connection. Do we say anything when we get a Socket.io connection? Socket.io open. So that seems like we're getting the connections that we want. And I'm clicking on my web browser and I'm getting data. So why is nothing else working? Why is this guy not getting any data? For example. And why is this scary thing happening where we're like continually doing this dance? The fact that we're doing this dance kind of makes it feel like something bad is happening with the stuff we did with the simultaneous WebSocket connection and Socket.io connection is kind of what this feels like. So I couldn't tell you exactly why. Is this like my upgrade request is not actually happening properly, or like what's the deal? Oh, I have a bunch of console stuff. Okay. Okay, let's think about this. The second handler, I didn't get an alert. Second handler, thank you for the follow. Everything is a disaster. Are we just not working? The alerts aren't working? I think the bot dies. Interesting. We didn't get very far on the bot. It's not too surprising. There's the noise. Thank you for the follow. You can expect beautiful content just like this, where I break something and then I'm not sure why. So easy answer here is let's just comment this out and try deploy and comment. No, this is entirely the wrong script. Let's not do that at all. Let's not even kind of do that. Let's comment out for the moment, comment this out, and then also comment this out, and let's just try deploy for a moment. You have successfully downloaded Linux. Congratulations. What's next? Did I actually comment out everything I meant to? I think I did. That is not going to work because I didn't do the thing. There's some kind of thing I saw today that was like some kind of thing, some kind of challenge, some kind of Linux challenge where groups of people install a different distro. I don't know, every month. I don't know the answer. Can't live that lifestyle anymore. Okay, what is your end game here? What are you planning to do? Run this guy. Try this again. Things seem okay. So let's temporarily disable raw WebSocket support. I just want to push this and make sure that I did not break anything more severely. To toy around. That's good. I mean, that is a entirely reasonable place to start. Are you putting this on your main machine, or are you gonna like run it in a virtual machine, or what's your plan for actually running it? Your main machine, that's serious. You're just going for it, huh? It's brave. Let's see. So now we just wait for all this nonsense, right? So now we need an EB deploy. So we'll wait for that business to happen. We can kill this guy. You can do, oh, what's it called? Well, you know, like now, Windows shoving updates on your throat. Well, you can do, did you try the Windows, what's the thing? WSL, the Windows, WLS? Windows Subsystem for Linux? Windows Subsystem, why, I can't get it the proper order. Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL. That lets you just run Ubuntu in Windows World. I played with it a little bit. We've used it a little bit on stream. It's kind of worked. Nah, you're just going straight for it. Well, good luck. I hope it works out. Okay, everything's a disaster. Everything's broken. Is everything still broken? No, now everything is not broken. And so that is a disheartening sign, because the I would say pretty easily the most obnoxious part about getting this to work was the most obnoxious part about getting this to work was getting the Socket.io stuff to work. And so if our new WebSocket land is jeopardizing that, that is a bummer. I would like to just try. So my instinct yesterday was to try an additional path. So I want to just try that. And hope for the best. I'm not quite sure if that will make any difference. If not, what distro were you doing? Were you setting up manually? What do people like now? I feel like Ubuntu, I never know how to say it. That's the one I feel like I hear about most in the world as far as a popular distribution. Okay, so we did that. Let's do another deploy. So if this does not work, then we have a potential plan B, which is to just fully run the WebSocket server on a different port, which should still be fine. Arch. What are you up to, Binary C? What's your plan with these? Do people like Arch Linux, Arch Linux? Keep it simple. Okay, so this has not exploded yet. Has not exploded yet. I do not seem to be able to feed the Babby, however, which is not a great sign. Let me just refresh this. Because if I was in like eternal WebSocket connect mode, actually that's the easy way to test, right? Like if we're here and we continue to get the we appear to be having that same behavior of just WebSockets trying to connect forever and not happening. Although I guess I didn't really fully verify. Yeah. It feels still broken. Although this is reporting healthy now. I'm not sure why. Health. Okay. Health is okay. But it does not seem healthy to me. Because we can do this business and do a one of these dudes and then click. Okay, interesting. I just changed the lights. Alexa, turn on stream. I need to go back to the client and I now need to connect here because our normal WebSocket connection is not going to work. But now it does work. Okay, so this is pretty weird because I'm still able to do just fine from the Node Socket IO implementation, but seemingly I'm having trouble with the browser Socket IO implementation with these invalid frame headers. Which I guess doesn't surprise me. For like tons, I would imagine. I think that pardon me for hitting the mic. That the Node implementation of WebSockets would be a little more robust than whatever the browsers had. Whoa, second handler. Did your color change? Is that just because I refreshed? I got a normal close and then opened. So this seems broken. Does indeed seem broken. So that's sad. The thing I could do is run the WebSocket server on a different port for raw WebSocket connections, I guess. Like if this whole business isn't going to work. I just want to like extra verify that it is not working. I mean, it's possible that I could get it to work, but it's such a like part of this is just my lack of understanding, I guess. There were just so many. It felt like such a task to get WebSockets working at all. Second hander. I'm sorry, hander. Second hander. I've been looking at handlers. So it was such a task to get this to work on the other side of all the AWS nonsense that it's very possible that something in that realm, something in there is actually what is causing the problem here. Actually, no, I don't think I did that. I thought maybe I did something weird with something Socket.io specific, like some security group rule based specifically about /Socket.io, but I don't think I actually did. Okay. Testing again with raw WebSockets disabled. This is a bummer, but not horribly surprising. Like this was my fear yesterday when I realized like, oh, this just may not work. Trying to do them both. So what we would do instead, which again, like, I'm kind of considering the raw WebSocket stuff as a like second-hand citizen. The thing that gets weird though is the port that comes through from AWS is different. Okay, we're able to feed again. So it's maybe it would be possible for me to do this, but in the way that I was originally saying, like, oh, we'll just use the same URL. I'm not feeling great about it. I think what I want to do is just this. Have raw WebSockets running on an alternate port. And call it a day. Which is kind of lame. I mean, that's, you know, no question. That's a little bit lame. Just throw it on port 8000. I think 8080 is actually what node ends up running as. So I can't use whatever. Uh-oh. What now? I appear to be able to feed the baby. I mean, I would hope nothing's broken now. No, there's stuff. Causes? Did I forget something? Yeah, 8080 is actually where we're running internally, so I can't use 8080. But I could use 8000, and then I could set up a rule to pass through, and it wouldn't be the coolest thing, but I don't know. I'd feel a little torn on this. Like, is there like a standard WebSocket port? I don't think so, because it's WebSockets. Oh, and to be WSS is going to be also weird, right? Like, yeah, this is kind of a bummer just because all my rules are... This is a little bit annoying. Your master boot record is unhappy? I don't know. What? I mean, I'm pretty out of the loop for local Linux installs other than Raspberry Pis. Godspeed. Good luck. Let's see. Yeah. This is kind of a bummer. I mean, this man, I'm just a little bit stuck on like what the actual ideal thing is here. I mean, I'm probably just worrying about it too much. So the easy near-term answer is like, hey, let's just throw this up on some other port, and let's not make it a secure WebSocket. And then just make a rule on AWS to point to forward to that port. Because like at this time, it is just sort of a second class citizen. This kind of makes me wish I had just done this to begin, like gone with WebSockets to begin with, because now I feel a little bit trapped in Socket.io land. But I also don't really have any users other than me, so I don't know why I'm so worried about it. So we'd basically want to do something like this. So get on port 8000. So first let's try this and see if things even work at all. And then we will worry about punching a hole to let us connect to there. Maybe we actually still can do HTTPS. We'd need 2 ports. Like, I don't really know what the right answer for what those ports are. I don't know. But anyway. Man, I'm bummed out about that. It seemed so promising yesterday. Are you happy here? Seemingly. Okay. I mean, not to mention anybody using Heat right now is probably just a weirdo who's making so. I mean, I don't know. With this contest, maybe more people are seeing it and using it. I don't know. EB deploy. Okay, so well, it's weird because the AWS way of doing it by default is Nginx, and so that's fine. But the thing that got complicated is when I had to put the load balancer in front, and then it was like 2 barriers where you have all the security group stuff, and then all the application load balancer stuff, and then Nginx, and then my actual script. And initially I was never able to get that to work with WebSockets. Like, I just could not make that happen. And the thing that I, in the end, took out of the equation was Nginx, because the load balancer itself was kind of doing that job and it felt a little redundant. Second hander, I haven't had that exact problem, but I've definitely had some issues with EFI problems before and tools around it. Like a quick Google makes it look like that is the thing that other people are running into. I remember Nginx in the front. Unfortunately, I can't put Nginx in front. If I want to use the application load balancer, which there's various other reasons I want to use it, like it does all the SSL handling and all of that stuff. And it's like it's the way. I don't know, second hander. You might have to just Google around because a quick search for Kali Linux and that particular file you posted looks like you are not alone in the boat you're in. Yeah, I mean that's that, and the proxy pass stuff was like kind of the default Nginx setup, and it seemed to work until I added these other pieces. It was all a little annoying. I probably could have gotten everything working with Nginx, but then I wouldn't have had the broader application load balancer, which I at this point certainly don't need, but I was trying to be scalable. You don't like EFI? I was able to use it. What was I doing? Someone does things. Rufus is a tool that I had to use. I feel like my last handful of experiences with EFI were okay, but you can't just disable EFI if you have other OSs that are already using it, right? Like on that machine, if you're multi-booting. Okay, so did I actually do the thing? I can't remember if I pushed the button or not. So I presumably pushed all of that. I think I did this. Let's do it again just to be sure. It's weird that it seems to think that it is unhealthy. Like, I don't really understand why it thinks. So that was at 9:10. I don't really understand why it thinks it is ill. Because at this point, that last deploy we had changed very little. Okay, we're getting a heat connected, and I'm definitely getting clicks. Alexa, turn on stream. I need to turn off the thing, it keeps changing my lights. Okay. That seems like heat is working. The baby is eating, we're getting color, like that all, we saw the lights change, like that makes me feel like heat is okay. So then the thing is, can we connect to port 8000? Which is gonna take some annoyingness, I think. Oh, did I leave the path? I didn't. So really we just need this, right? And this should give me an error eventually, or I just won't get a connection there. Why? Wait, what happened? %50 are failing with 500 errors. 50% of requests to Elastic Load Balancer. I'm not using Elastic Load Balancer. But some requests should be failing with 500 errors. Oh, well, those wouldn't be 500 errors actually. Never mind. I was about to say, like, we throw errors all the time if somebody clicks too fast. Let's see. don't even see heat. Oh, that's the initiator, not. A million little video chunks. I don't know where those 500 errors are coming from. Because anybody who's clicking too much, that should be a 400 error, not a 500. %, 5 minutes ago. Is this just gonna expire? Like, can I tell it to, like, hey, try again? Oh, do we have Babby Inception? It's a dangerous state to be in. Let's see. So, what's your problem? I don't think this is... Like, okay, I get it, but how do I have a new health check? This is making me nervous. But I don't actually know what to do about it. I had my client up during restart? Maybe. Seems like it wouldn't be hitting it a ton, but maybe so? I mean, it seems really silly that it would log a bunch of errors like when it knows that I'm restarting. I feel like I haven't seen that before, but maybe I had, maybe not even the client, but just like some combination of Socket.io browsers that were just all trying to refresh. The 500 errors are weird though. Why would it be 500 errors? It would, that seems like it should just be like don't respond at all. 500 errors are more like something's busted. Let's look in these logs and see if there's anything. Like, our dude seems to have started happily. Our deploys seem like they did the thing. I don't know. I kind of... It looks like stuff's okay. But... health is scary. But this is sort of weird because overall is severe, but isn't this my dude? Like, this is my actual dude, and it says my dude is okay. So if this is like a summary of what's going on... Maybe this is just... Maybe things were exploding in Socket.io world when we had it all running. Yeah. I mean, but that... Oh, wait, it just went to okay. There must be some lag on it. I mean... And that's interesting that this says 40 minutes, because I feel like we've redeployed... Yeah, we deployed 7 minutes ago, running 40 minutes? I don't know. Okay, I think things are okay. I think things are okay. They seem to be working. The thing that's going to be missing is our ability to direct connect to port 8000. And the place to find that is... not even in Elastic Beanstalk world. I think we have to go to EC2 Oh man, where even is this? Is it a load balancer thing? I kind of want to say it's a security group thing, but so these are my listeners, and I'm just tossing them along. So I think the first thing to do, I wish I could just duplicate. Actually, let's look at that. Yeah, can I just view you? So default, I'm just request otherwise not routed, forward to that fellow. And then for 443, really the same thing, except we are also, I wonder if this came from the security policy, because I feel like that's where I added the other stuff. Like inbound traffic, yeah, anything inbound here, well, that's just to allow it. So I wonder if I need both, actually. So this one has HTTPS as well. So if I add security, like add to the security group, I wonder if it will. Can I not edit this? Have to be custom. And then I guess I'll just do whatever's there, and this will be what I don't know is if by adding this, it will also add the load balancer rule. Seemingly not. So let's just try to make things up. Add a listener, report 8,000, and then we want to just forward it to our buddy here and call it a day. I wonder if I try it as WSS, what it will do. Like, I don't actually know. Like, what port? Does that have to be port 443? Like, what if I don't? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but maybe this works. So that got us Socket.io open. We're getting a lot of WebSocket errors. So let's temporarily take out Socket.io and just try. Okay, what is our error here? Okay, it does not want to be, yeah, that was an SSL thing. So if we are not WSS, we get a 502. Oh yeah, because I'm missing something here. I think I need to explicitly, no. Let's see. That's the load balancer rule. And the security group rule. Do I also need... I may need to add it here too, actually, because I think this is actually what I'm using, not that other one. That other one I might have been a default. How do I add a rule? Oh yeah. No. Everything's still working with the Babby. Seems good. Yeah. Okay. So don't want to stream for too much longer tonight. We're getting a 502. Which the problem is I don't know from whom. Like from the load balancer, from, I mean, I guess we could check headers and stuff. Disallowed URL scheme, sure. I mean, not heat, EDBS. You. Well, that's weird. That seemed like it ported port 8000 to port 80. So should this not be? Oh, you know what? This is slightly ringing a bell here. I feel like I maybe read something where you can't just use, like, that these rules are for HTTP and HTTPS only and not whatever you want. The load balancer rules, I mean. Let's see. Oh, we can figure out another port. Yeah, maybe this is the thing that I can't even do this through the load balancer. Yeah, well, application load balancer, I think, just won't do. TCP, and if you want custom stuff, you have to use the other load balancer, the elastic, or the elastic load balancer versus the application load balancer. So it could be that all of this was for naught, and our very productive night last night, when it seems like we just were cranking stuff out, is a lie. It was a trick. You know, there's still one thing I'm missing though, is the whose job is it to decide to go, hey, use port 8080. That's what I can't remember. That's Redis. I don't think it was in that world. Is it in target groups? Somewhere you have to say like, hey, by the way, back yonder, it's actually port 8080 that you want, not port 80. And I cannot remember. Custom TCP would work out if I was using their other load balancer. And now there were definitely reasons I chose the application load balancer versus the Elastic load balancer, but now I can't remember what they were. You know what another option is, though? You know what another option is? Let me think before I say this. So here's the thing I had considered and then decided not to do. The thing I had considered and decided not to do was, there's no reason all these things need to be happening in the same place. Like the, yeah, oh well, yeah, I could do that. I could do that, but I don't want to. I mean, I think I got to a good place in terms of scalability. I know, not very man, I'm telling you, like if this contest ends, I might take this whole thing off AWS and put it somewhere else that I'm more comfortable with. No, the thing I was going to say is there's zero reason that the, excuse me for hitting the mic yet again, that the logic of receiving clicks and Socket.io and WebSocket, there's zero reason that all of those have to run in the same place, because they're all backed by Redis, and so those could be running completely different scripts on completely different instances. Like there's not any reason that they need to have anything to do with one another. Now here's the thing I don't know. So going into that realm would mean I think another EC2 instance run by the Elastic Load Balancer. I don't think there's a way, with Elastic Beanstalk. Get more SSL certs, 3 separate apps. Yeah, well, in this case, I'm using these free Amazon things. For the SSL certificate, so I get that for free. That's one of the reasons I like the application load balancer, is that all of the certificate, all that stuff is just managed and I don't have to deal with it. Yes, so the WebSocket portion of this the pub could be happening, but on this main thread, this main script, but the sub could be happening elsewhere. Certainly. And that's true for the Socket.io stuff as well. So there is a possibility that I could do that. What that would probably look like is, I think I could, I'm trying to think of what it looks like in terms of cost, I guess. So I think I could still, I don't know if I would have to pay more for the application load balancer. I think I have it, and I could just add more things to it and tell it like, hey, send it to these other places. Still a little confused about how we're getting. Okay, that's my virtual private cloud ID. I'm just trying to decide if it would cost a lot more to have these things separate, I guess. But I basically just have Redis publishers running on the main dude. I'm still... How does this magic work? I did turn on stickiness, that's true. Like, whose job, like normally you would say like, oh, Nginx's job is doing the reverse proxy. I don't know who is reverse proxying. I thought it was the application load balancer, but I might be wrong about that. Target groups though. Am I just wrong about those? You know what? Maybe those don't run on weird ports anymore now that I'm not using... No, they do. They run on port 8080, so something is doing a reverse proxy kind of thing and saying, hey, route all this to 8080. I thought it was the load balancer. But that seems to not be true. Like this forwarding thing is kind of what I would have thought, but no. Because then there's also, let's get rid of this. I'm just going to clean up the mess I made. Stop singing, person. Terminated. You're all happy. Alarm status, everything's happy. So I'm only running one micro EC2 instance, which I think is not supposed to cost me any money. And I could run more EC2 instances inside this one virtual private cloud. So all the stuff could still work. I could still talk to the Redis server. All of that stuff would still be happy, I think. I'm still pretty confused. Like, who is doing... In my mind, that really you would think would be like, hey, that's the job of the load balancer. Because over here in Elastic Beanstalk land, where everything appears to be running happily, configuration... I think there might be secret things here. Did you find something? Find something good? So this is the application load balancer. But the ports are still... That's redirect actions. We're doing forwarding. So am I missing the redirect action? But I feel like I saw anything related to that. Like... Now, where are the redirect That not here? These rules? I mean, I thought, like, this just says forward versus, like, if we added a rule, then you could redirect to, and that's where you get this more complicated redirect actions. But forward seems like it's just saying, like, hey, I'm good. Let me send you to here, which is a target group. Does the target group know how to do it? We're still at port 80 in this land. This EC2 instance is where we're pointing to, I think. That's what this is. We have the security group. I mean, it kind of seems like it could be the target groups. But I never really had to edit any of these things. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's smart. That's what I think. It seems like there should be an 80-80 in this world, but I don't know where. Like, at this point, we're just at the actual server itself, so it's going to have whatever ports open it has. So it feels to me like it has to be in load balancer or target group. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just like some secret internal hard-coded thing with this load balancer, because the, yeah, on all open ports, I would hope not. But the application load balancer is specifically for HTTP traffic, so maybe it just knows how to do that, versus that Elastic load balancer, which does know how to do whatever TCP business you want. Well, okay. Let me, like, mentally bark up a different tree for a minute. So my, like, alternate up tree bark says that I could just make, like, heat ws.j38.net. That would be a specific place that would require another EC2 instance, but those aren't expensive. Excuse me. Like, I don't think that's the costly part of this. Oh, did you find it? The secret? Add the instance port in the target group. In the target group. But the target group I just looked at had port 80. Load balancer, security getting, security group, routing. To the target group port. Target group. The target group port is 80. Unless, I mean, what's is this not the thing? No, presumably not here. Presumably not in the target group. In the, here, where you specify the target group. This is a target group. I mean, that's what that thing is, right? It just says port 80. AWS, why are you so confusing? That's a listener. The rules, forwarding to there. I would kind of expect it to be here, but what do I know? Configure routing. I don't feel like I saw this particular. The instance port in the target group. Reconfigure the target group, then point the application load balancer to that target group. I mean, this makes sense to me, and this is what I would expect, but I feel like that's not what I'm seeing here. I feel like what I'm seeing is... weird. This is application load balancer gives you flexibility to use extra ports on the backend services. It does? Configure routing. Configure security group, configure whatever. Oh, that's like create a load balancer. HTTP, yeah. Configure a security group. So that's create a load balancer, but I don't want to do that. I think I have to pay for it, right? Like, I already have one. I have this one. And then the target group. I mean, did I just not do that? Did not do this particular step? Like for the target group itself. Let's try this. Do I have to also do this? It seems. And then I want to forward to this target group on port 8000. Feels weird, right? But I'll try it. I will try it. In setup. Yeah, I didn't even configure it because that was just part of the EC2 deployment. EC2 deployment just made that happen. Okay, I want to try that. Well, let's just try to add that real fast and see if it magically works. If not, I think I will have to go back to the drawing board and maybe just consider the idea that the WebSocket connection thing, the thing that the broadcaster connects to, is a totally separate thing from everything else, which I kind of like the idea of. Like, I was going to look cost-wise. So EC2, like, we look at February, which was not a full month of service, but I screwed up and turned on something that I shouldn't have. Well, can I look at, like, the projected things? Well, like, this is not really showing what I want to see. Bill details. Like, looking at last month, the thing that cost money. So the EC2 instance itself was $6. the load balancer was more expensive, which feels so weird and dumb that the load balancer costs more. You see the routing step when you set it up. But I mean, the result of that you would think would be the thing that I have, which is a target group that says port 80. Let me check one thing. Maybe I still have Nginx on it and Nginx is doing the thing. I don't think I do. Let's see. I'm almost positive I had to turn that off to get things working. Node.js, proxy server, none. I'm not using Nginx. So it's not like, at least not in an obvious way. Let's see if there's anything else in the configuration land. On this end of things, which is on the server setup land. Is it like the clustering, forwarding things to individual ports? I don't know how any of this works. So much of it was just like auto setup, load balancer modify. I mean, this is the load balancer as you'd kind of expect it to be here. Binary C, it's a mystery. That's a real mystery. With SSL certificate. This environment is not part of a VPC? It isn't? I think it is. But okay. So what if I try to add this here? Like add a listener here. I wonder if it will automatically do stuff for me since this is like the Elastic Beanstalk create place. Oh yeah, it seems like it's maybe this was the thing I should have done. Maybe this will like magically do the work. Okay, this will be the last test. Last test for tonight. Maybe. Oh, that's weird. Why didn't that throw an error? Mysterious. I thought this was throwing errors all over the place earlier. Okay, yeah, it's breaking. 502 error. Seems to have not magically worked. Let's go actually look at the load balancer and see what rules it created. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know about AWS. I really don't know. I don't know the answer. But I had to. I had to for the money. I did it for the money. Okay, I just want to look and see if this like created rules or anything. That target group did not change. Listeners did get a port 8000. I mean, what if we do... Okay, binary C. $8,000 is getting forwarded to 8080 as well, because it's getting to my forward. So like, so that's not right. What about some, like, other ports? 2000 does nothing. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's a limitation. I think that's a limitation of the application load balancer. I think it like truly doesn't know what to do, or seemingly doesn't know what to do with other ports like this. Which is weird because it let me make those other rules. I may be wrong. But I seem to remember reading something about that. As far as where the magic happens, that just magically turns... Well, this is weird. Why does this say stickiness is disabled here? Stickiness should not be disabled. For each environment process, maybe there's a way I can do this. The HTTPS thing in Chrome, but even from curl, it was being forwarded. I wonder if I can have multiple processes on an elastic beanstalk. Or even if like I can do a new elastic beanstalk land and still deploy to the same EC2 dude and not have to spin anything up additionally. I don't exactly know how that would work in terms of URLs and whatnot, because the application load balancer itself, I think you'd need more than one application load balancer, which is just the thing that sucks, because that's the expensive thing. I mean, maybe, or maybe that doesn't need the same scalability. I also just kind of don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm trying to think if there's like a really short, easy path to this. The application load balancer definitely makes things annoying. For sure. And maybe I shouldn't have done that for the initial deploy, but it made the SSL stuff easier. I mean, I could have configured Nginx to do all that stuff, but probably. Well, shucks. What's the deal here? whether the load balancer is... This is pretty weird, because this disabled stickiness... Let's just get rid of all this stuff. Mark is removed. Can I remove it? It's weird that stickiness is disabled here, because I would definitely want it on. I'm just gonna turn it on here. Oh, I can't do it right now because it's updating. Now can I do it? No. Okay, well, what did we learn here today? We learned that AWS is a perpetual pain in the butt. I'm still confused by this. So the thing I'm confused by is somehow magically, locally, things were working. Although, maybe we didn't actually test them in the browser yesterday. When we got the stuff to work, maybe I only did it with that client, because the client seems to not care about having WebSockets and Socket.io running simultaneously, but the browser does. So it is possible that it was broken yesterday and I just didn't test that particular case. That kind of seems likely, really. Become sticky. I command you. Great, we're all sticky now. Okay, the one other thing that I could just imagine maybe is to say that I wanted to make a new environment. If I could create an environment that used the same EC2 instance without needing to spin up another one and cost more, then that could be fine. Then the problem is the load balancer, but I could connect to that other instance directly, temporarily, and like not really worry about it not being load balanced. Man, just perpetual pains in the butt here. One pain in the butt after another. Kind of curious about this. Like if I just do this, it'll just create it. I don't think that it'll see. I want to go the other way. Yeah. Another thing that's a problem is another option is saying like, well, what if we just keep the WebSocket stuff, not even try to do it in AWS world? But You kind of have to, because the Redis server is not available outside of my little private cloud, and Redis servers are not simple to secure. I could do some like punch a hole in it and host it elsewhere and tunnel over SSH or something like that, I guess, but doesn't seem great. Yeah, elastic load balancers, yes. But there's some reason, so elastic load balancers just let you put in TCP ports. And there was some very specific reason that I chose to use the application load balancer over the elastic load balancer. I think it was problems with WebSockets, maybe, that I was able to get the WebSockets working over AWS, or the Socket.io, I mean. So yeah, there was a reason I did this, and I don't remember why. And I don't really want to break it while it's working, especially because this is judging week, and so I'm very wary about like actively destroying anything during judging, which in fact makes me sort of want to like revert. I guess this stuff isn't really hurting anything. It's just sitting on a port that the world cannot see. Not that stuff, this stuff. I did say port 8000, yes. So I think for the moment, I'm just gonna like disable all this stuff, because I don't really want to risk messing anything up while they're judging stuff. And then maybe after the judging, I will have a good idea on how to manage this. Man, remember the hubris last night? When I ended the stream and I was like, oh, that went so smoothly. I can't believe it. I can't believe how smoothly it worked. So probably I did not adequately test it in a browser. I bet it was always broken in a browser. Yeah, I mean, at this moment, the thing that kind of feels best to me is to just say like, you know what, this would just run on its own. It would have its own URL. It would be kind of its own little animal on its own little micro instance. I just don't want to pay for it, because it would, yeah, I would need all the same stuff all over again, I guess. Maybe I'm kind of hoping that out of the contest, Twitch has some interest, and I'm like, hey, great, can you help me with all the AWS stuff, because it's a pain in the butt and it's expensive. Maybe. Okay, well, we made some other minor tweaks to things, I guess, today for a 2.5-hour stream in which we did not make progress. Why do you treat me like this, AWS? Why do you treat me like this, Visual Studio Code? Okay, let's deploy this, make sure it's okay, and I think I will call it a night. Tragedy. It's also possible that it would have been fine in the browser, and it's just something introduced by the load balancing that is causing the WebSocket/Socket.io stuff to explode. But I kind of bet it's actually broken locally if we test it in that way. I kind of bet that, because our test client from last night was still working. Classic dev. I'm sorry, what do you mean was fine on your local machine? Just the process of deploying? Okay, this seems like it went okay. Is it all okay? Can we feed the bevy? We can feed the bevy. Oh yeah, dev to prod. Oh, okay, sure. No, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I thought you meant your local machine. Yes, you're saying no. Of course, it was fine on my machine. Yes, right. That is why in real life I would want to have a. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying you were testing something that was working because you were just looking at AWS stuff. Yeah, I mean in real life I would want. I mean the thing that is actually the production server right now I even called dev, because I had anticipated that if this became a real thing, I would not have heat dev. I would just straight up have heat and then point the URL to that. You know, because that's how you're supposed to do it. But I didn't. I didn't do it. Because it's okay at this point. It's just, I don't want to break it for judges. So it appears to me that stuff worked. Yeah, I mean that's how I just came, a large project I just came off recently had like dev, integration, QA, staging, production, like that is, if you care about things not breaking, that's a good way to do it. But I don't care that much at this moment because I highly doubt anybody from Twitch is looking at it at this moment. And that I kind of doubt anybody streaming using heat stuff right this minute. But it would be smart for me to just duplicate this environment and then deploy from one environment to another. Oh, you're saying that. Oh, I see. So you're saying in your realm that those do not even, okay, that it's invalid because they are architecturally different than prod. That doesn't sound good. And like my ideal here would be they would be essentially the exact same thing and it would just like push down the pipe one to the next. Man. I thought I was supposed to get some AWS credits that it felt like I didn't get from the free tier stuff. I think what I did was just screw myself by. There was reasons for doing it though. I mean, I went through so many different iterations of different ways of configuring those services, and like frankly, the one I arrived at was the only one that I could get to work reliably with WebSocket support and HTTPS, and that's why I was like, okay, this works. Let's do it. Anyway, whatever, it works. I shouldn't even be touching this. I have so much other things to work on. It just seemed like it was gonna work, right? It just felt like it was gonna happen. It is kind of annoying that you can't have multiple Elastic Beanstalk deployments on a single EC2 instance, but I guess that makes sense. It's super annoying that the application load balancer. I think maybe not actually. Let's see. Like, could I with a single? So I would definitely have another instance here. But could I have a single load balancer without paying more for the load balancer? I guess I could, because this is specifically. That's the virtual cloud ID. The instance ID is this. So that was part of the target group of the load balancer. I just don't know if I would get charged more, right? Like, or if I could just add new targets. The thing is, though, the load balancer has an explicit IP, like an explicit DNS name, and that is what my CNAME points to. So I feel like if I wanted a different host name, I would have to have another load balancer. I think. And then the thing behind all of this that is upsetting is that I had potentially imagined that I might want to monetize this later, and seemingly I cannot flip that switch ever for the rest of my life the way Twitch has it. Look at the bevy just fly above the city. Beautiful, Bevy. Okay. Well, you know, it was another one of those streams, and I guess the socket puppet title is appropriate in this instance. Yeah. Okay, I'll think about it and see if there's an easy way to come up with it. Otherwise, I think I will probably table this whole thing until after judging. The cost is just annoying. I like $40. It's $40 a month, which is not crazy, but it's kind of more than I want to spend on just randomness. And then that's like the minimum of the minimum. It's like the smallest instances, the smallest redis, like all of that is at rock bottom. And as soon as if this ever had actual usage, like what were the articles today? Let's see. How much Lyft spends on AWS? It was something outrageous. Yeah, the IPO, AWS. $300 million on AWS between January of this year and December 2021. So $100 million a year ish. No, that's probably true. I mean, well, the thing is though, like if it did become, I don't have like, I don't know that I really think this would happen, but yeah, I know. I would just throw it on DigitalOcean probably. It's just not scalable there. And I don't know. I just wanted to, at least as an exercise, try to think about the scalability. But yeah, who's going to load balance between those? Some Nginx thing, another Docker. You're out of you and your containers out of control. Yeah, I mean, I am like kind of tempted to say, man, snap 3 billion in cloud sharing between AWS and Google Cloud. That's just stuff is costly. I like Heroku. It's more than $5 though, but I still like it. Okay, well, anyway, that's food for thought. Let's get through the contest and see what happens. The only thing that is centralized-ish is the Redis server. That's kind of it. Everything else is just whatever. Like the Redis is the glue, and you would potentially imagine like needing clustering on the Redis side so that the Redis side was also scalable, but that's a whole nother thing. Oh well. Well, Binary C, thanks for hanging out again on a not very productive stream. Thanks Justin for the host. Thanks everybody else who stopped by. I super appreciate it. And man, I don't know. I have a busy day for the next few days, but then I really got to get back to planning the workshop. So probably streams later this week will be focused on that live stream workshop planning. So anyway, I'll talk to you next time.